Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, we are looking at another game of Mikhail Tal which he played against Georgy Lisitsin. The reason of making video on this game is to learn how to use your king in the end game. In this game, Mikhail Tal was playing as a white, so he started the game with the e4, now c5 Sicilian defense, knight to f3, d6, d4, c captures on d4, knight captures on d4, knight to f6 attacks the e4 pawn, and now knight to c3 defend the e4 pawn. Black played g6. This is the Sicilian defense dragon variation which prepares this bishop to g7 move. Mikhail Tal played f4. Now knight to c6, knight captures on c6, b captures on c6, and now e5. In this position, Mikhail Tal is attacking this knight, so black played knight to d7. But if we go back and see what happens if you play d captures on e5. Now Mikhail Tal will play f captures on e5, and it looks like that black can put some pressure on this pawn with the knight to g4, but that's not possible because now Mikhail Tal will play queen captures on d8 check. Now king captures on d8, bishop to f4 saving the pawn, so now bishop to g7 again attacking the pawn, and now Mikhail Tal will do queen side castling, and this is the check, so bishop to d7, and after rook to e1 this pawn is safe and Mikhail Tal king is safe. But on the other hand, black king cannot do castling on any side of the board. That's the reason why in this position black didn't play d captures on e5. Instead he played knight to d7, now e captures on d6, e captures on d6, bishop to e3, bishop to e7 prepare the king side castling, and queen to f3 prepares the queen side castling. Black played d5 and now queen side castling, bishop to f6. Black is threatening bishop captures on c3 and he wants to disturb this pawn structure on the king side. So Mikhail Tal saves it with the bishop to d4, now king side castling, and Mikhail Tal played h4. This looks like pawn sacrifice, but that's not the case because if you play bishop captures on h4, but now after queen to h3, Mikhail Tal is winning this game because Mikhail Tal is attacking this bishop, and if you move this bishop then queen captures on h7 is a checkmate. That's why he didn't capture it. Instead he played rook to b8, now queen to f2. But if we go back, it looks like that Mikhail Tal can win a pawn with the bishop captures on a7, but that's not possible because now black can play rook captures on b2, a brilliant rook sacrifice, and if you capture it, then with the queen to a5 he is attacking your bishop. Let's say you save it with the bishop to d4, but now queen to b4 check, king to c1, and now bishop captures on d4. Let's say in this position you save your knight with the knight to e4, but now bishop to b2 check, king to b1, bishop to c3 check, king to c1, and now queen to b2 is a checkmate. That's why in this position computer is suggesting that Mikhail Tal should give up on his rook with the rook captures on d4, and that would be winning for the black. That's the reason why Mikhail Tal didn't play bishop captures on a7. Instead he played queen to f2, now rook to b4 attacking this bishop with the rook and his bishop. So Mikhail Tal played bishop captures on f6, knight captures on f6, and now Mikhail Tal played a3 attacking the rook, but black didn't save it. Instead he played queen to b6. This is not the rook sacrifice because he is attacking the Mikhail Tal queen and also offering the queen exchange, and in this position there is no better move than queen captures on b6. That's why Mikhail Tal played it. Queen captures on b6, rook captures on b6, knight to a4. Knight to a4 is not only attacking the rook but also stopping this c6 pawn from coming to this c5 square, because after c5 black can play this d4 move and it would be winning for him. Black played rook to b7, now bishop to d3, knight to h5 attacking the f4 pawn, and Mikhail Tal saves it with the rook to f1. Black played rook to e7, f5, g captures on f5, and in this position Mikhail Tal cannot capture this pawn with the bishop because if you play bishop captures on f5 then black can play knight to g3 and that would be winning for him. That's why in this position Mikhail Tal didn't capture the pawn with the bishop. Instead he played rook to e1 offering the rook exchange, and black accepted with the rook to e8. So now rook captures on e7, rook captures on e7, and now king to d2, and from this position Mikhail Tal started playing with the king. Black played knight to g3, but not simply king to c3, f4, king to d4, bishop to f5, offering the bishop exchange. So Mikhail Tal played rook to d2, now rook to e6, knight to c5, attacks the rook and black saves it with the rook to h6. Mikhail Tal played king to e5 and now he is threatening bishop captures on f5, because in this position if he play bishop captures on f5, then after knight captures on f5, king captures on f5, Mikhail Tal is winning a piece. That's why black played bishop captures on d3. So now c captures on d3, rook captures on h4, and in this position black has two extra pawns. But let's see how Mikhail Tal saved this game. He played king to d6 attacking the c6 pawn, so black saves it with the rook to h6 check. Now king to c7, knight to f5, king to b7 attacking the a7 pawn, and black played knight to d4. This is a very complicated move and also a pawn sacrifice. If you play king captures on a7, then black can play a rook to h2, and on the next move he will play this f3 and he would have a passer pawn, and that would be winning for him. That's why after knight to d4, Mikhail Tal didn't capture the pawn. Instead he played a rook to f2, attacked the f4 pawn, and black played a5. But why did he save his a5 pawn? The reason is simple. If you save this f5 pawn, then after king captures on a7, Mikhail Tal would have this passer pawn, and that would be winning for him. That's why Mikhail Tal played rook captures on f4. So now knight to e6 attacks the rook, and Mikhail Tal played rook to g4 check. So now king to f8, and now Mikhail Tal played king captures on c6, and it looks like that black can give some nasty discover check. But if we look at the board carefully, there are no good discover checks. Black played knight captures on c5 check, king captures on c5. Now rook to e6, planning this rook to e2, attacking this g2 and b2 pawn. Mikhail Tal played king captures on d5. So now rook to b6. He wants to stop this b4 move, but this move is unstoppable, and Mikhail Tal straight away played b4. So now a captures on b4, a captures on b4, and now king to e7. King to c5 attacking the rook. So rook goes to f6, rook to d4, rook to f5 check, king to c6, rook to f6 check, king to c7, and now rook to f5. Mikhail Tal played rook to e4 check, and after king to f6, black king cannot go to the other side of the board because of this rook on the e4. Mikhail Tal played king to c6, so now rook to f2 attacking the g2 pawn, and Mikhail Tal saves it with the g4. In this position, Mikhail Tal has extra pawn, but black sacrificed his another pawn with the h5. But why? The reason is simple. After g captures on h5, black has this passer pawn, but this pawn is not that powerful. That's why Mikhail Tal played g captures on h5. So now king to g5, b5, f5 attacking the rook. So rook to b4, stopping this rook to b2. Black played f4. So now b6, f3, and after b7, black resigned in this position. The reason is very simple. Whatever black play on the next move, but Mikhail Tal will play b8 is equal to queen, and that is just winning for him. So I hope you like this brilliant game of Mikhail Tal, and if you like it, please like this video, subscribe to this channel to get more amazing and inspiring content.